Home, in many ways, is a reflection of who you are. It carries your memories, your habits, and even your unspoken rituals. The chair you always sit in, the teacup you reach for without thinking, the way sunlight lands in the same corner each morning. But as the years pass, the way you experience your own space begins to shift. What once felt effortless now sometimes requires more attention. A staircase that used to mean strength and routine may now feel like something you measure carefully before climbing. The kitchen floor you've crossed 1,000 times can suddenly seem a little more slippery, a little less predictable. It's not because you've done anything wrong, it's simply because your body is changing, as it should. That can be difficult to accept at first because we're so used to believing that home never changes. But the truth is, it does, not in its walls or its windows, but in the way you move through it. There's a quiet wisdom in recognizing that. Think about this. How many times have you caught yourself pausing at a place that once seemed ordinary, like the edge of a rug or a step into the bathroom, and thought, "I need to be careful here"? Those moments are not failures, they're invitations. Invitations to notice, to respect, and to adjust. Some people resist this awareness, thinking, if I admit my home feels different now, I'm admitting I'm weaker. But what if it's the opposite? What if admitting it is an act of strength? By noticing the changes, you give yourself the chance to create more comfort, more safety, and more freedom. That's not limitation, that's wisdom. I once spoke with Elena, who is 76. She told me she never liked the idea of changing her home because she felt it meant she was giving up a part of her independence. But after a small stumble near her hallway one night, she realized something important. Independence isn't about refusing change, it's about choosing the changes that allow you to keep living on your terms. She moved a lamp closer to her bed, shifted a table that often caught her hip, and added a mat in her bathroom. She didn't feel less independent afterward. She felt more at ease, more confident, more at home. And perhaps that's the real gift of aging. It teaches us to see the beauty in caring for ourselves more gently. So I invite you to pause for a moment and look around your own space. Does it still feel like a home that supports the person you are today, not just the person you once were? Does it give you freedom, or does it ask you to work harder than you should have to? These are not questions to rush through. They are quiet reflections meant only for you. By the way, I'd love to hear about the place you call home. Tell me in the comments where you're reading this from, whether it's a city apartment, a country house, or somewhere in between. Your surroundings matter more than you think, and sharing them might even inspire someone else who is on the same journey as you. That's not limitation, that's wisdom. One of the most loving things you can do for yourself is to clear the pathways you walk every single day. It may sound simple, almost too simple, but the truth is that freedom of movement is at the heart of independence. When your home offers you space to walk without hesitation, you feel lighter in your own body. Yet when the path from your bedroom to your kitchen is cluttered with small tables, loose cords, or piles of belongings waiting to be put away, it becomes more than just an inconvenience. It becomes a quiet source of worry. Have you noticed how sometimes, without realizing it, you shift your steps or slow down because something feels unstable underfoot? That subtle tension builds over time, and it can take away from the peace you deserve. I think of Margaret, who is 74 and loves her home filled with books, plants, and little treasures from travels long ago. For years, she kept everything where it had always been, but one evening she caught her slipper on the corner of a rug and nearly fell. It frightened her, not only because she could have been hurt, but because it made her question whether she could continue living the way she wanted. Instead of retreating into fear, she chose something gentler. She let go of a few items, donated a chair she never used, and shifted her favorite plant to a safer spot by the window. What she discovered surprised her. Her home felt bigger, calmer, and easier to move through. It didn't feel like she had lost anything. She felt she had gained a new sense of trust in her own space. You might not need to make sweeping changes. Sometimes it's as small as moving a lamp table away from the middle of the room or taping down that cord that always seems to lie across your path. You could even try this little exercise. Take a slow walk through your home as if you were visiting it for the first time. Notice the corners where you hesitate, the objects you sidestep, the areas where light seems dim. Each of those is an opportunity, not for judgment, but for gentle improvement. Every small adjustment is a gift to your future self, a way of saying, I want to keep moving freely tomorrow and the day after and for as long as possible. Independence isn't about holding on to every single object or arrangement you've always had. It's about shaping your environment so it loves you back. If you allow yourself that perspective, you might even find joy in the process, the way Margaret did. And if these reflections feel helpful, I invite you to subscribe so you can continue receiving gentle, practical ideas like this. Because the truth is, sometimes one small shift in your home can open the door to a whole new sense of comfort in your life. Light is one of those things we rarely notice until it fails us. When you were younger, your eyes adjust quickly, your steps feel sure even in dim corners, and you may not think twice about walking down a hallway at night. But as the years pass, your eyes undergo subtle changes. The pupils don't open as widely as they once did, the lenses become less clear, and your ability to adjust to darkness slows. What used to look like a shadow now feels like a patch of uncertainty, and what once was a simple walk to the bathroom can suddenly become a careful calculation. This is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the body's way of asking for a little more support. Think about the last time you got up at night and moved through a hallway with only a faint glow from the streetlight outside. Did you notice yourself reaching out for the wall, just in case? Did your steps slow down, even though you knew the space by heart? Those are your instincts reminding you that light is not a luxury, it is protection. And yet many people live for years without making the small adjustments that could transform their evenings into something safer and more peaceful. I once met Harold, who is 81 and still enjoys reading late into the night. For a long time, he kept a single lamp by his chair and relied on memory to find his way to the bedroom. One evening, in the dimness, he misjudged the edge of a rug and nearly fell. That scare was enough to shift his perspective. He added a soft nightlight in the hallway, a motion sensor lamp near his bathroom, and placed a small reading light by his bed. The change was immediate. He told me, I didn't realize how much I was straining myself until I stopped having to. That's the quiet gift of light. It relieves your body from unnecessary effort. The truth is, the aging eye simply needs more light to see clearly, and ignoring that fact only adds to daily strain. It's not about flooding your home with harsh brightness. In fact, too much glare can be just as uncomfortable. What helps most are layers of gentle, well-placed light. Soft lamps in corners, switches within easy reach, night lights where you walk most often. Ask yourself, is there a place in your home where you squint, hesitate, or feel uneasy moving in the evening? That spot is speaking to you. By honoring it with better lighting, you are not just preventing accidents, you are creating ease. You are giving yourself permission to move confidently through your own space at any hour without hesitation. And there is a deep peace in knowing that your home will guide you kindly, even in the quiet hours of the night. The ground beneath your feet is something you rarely think about when you're younger. You move without hesitation, trusting that your balance will carry you, that your steps will be steady no matter the surface. But as the years pass, even small shifts underfoot can feel different. A rug that curls up at the corner, a bathroom tile that grows slick with steam, or even just a pair of socks on polished wood. These can suddenly turn familiar ground into uncertain territory. It isn't because you've lost strength or ability, it's because your body now sends you clearer signals, asking for steadier support. The ground beneath your feet is something you rarely think about when you're younger. You move without hesitation, trusting that your balance will carry you, that your steps will be steady no matter the surface. But as the years pass, even small shifts underfoot can feel different. A rug that curls up at the corner, a bathroom tile that grows slick with steam, or even just a pair of socks on polished wood. These can suddenly turn familiar ground into uncertain territory. It isn't because you've lost strength or ability, it's because your body now sends you clearer signals asking for steadier support. There's no shame in listening to those signals. In fact, it's an act of wisdom to honor them. You might begin simply by noticing. The next time you walk through your home, take off your shoes and pay attention to what you feel. Do you catch yourself slowing down when you cross a certain spot? Do you notice a slide underfoot or a hesitation before stepping into the shower? These little pauses are your body's quiet way of guiding you toward care. Once you see them, gentle steps forward become clear. Imagine walking barefoot across your kitchen floor and recognizing the smoothness that makes you cautious. That's your invitation to add a mat with a firm, non-slip grip. Or think of the rug in your living room, the one you've had for years, beautiful but always shifting a little when you walk across it. That's your sign to place a rubber pad underneath or consider replacing it with something more stable. And in the bathroom, where water and steam mix, you can place strips with strong grip inside the tub or shower so that your morning routine feels safe rather than risky. These are not grand renovations, they are quiet adjustments that bring peace. I remember speaking with Daniel, who was 79. He had always worn socks around the house, believing it was more comfortable. But one morning he slipped in his hallway, catching himself just in time. That near fall shook him, and for days he felt uneasy even in his own living room. Instead of waiting for another accident, he bought a pair of sturdy slippers with firm soles meant for indoors. He later told me, "I never realized how much safer and more relaxed I'd feel just by changing what I put on my feet. It wasn't a burden, it was a relief." The truth is, making the ground beneath you reliable is not about giving in. It's about making your days smoother, calmer, and freer. Ask yourself gently, are your floors serving you, or are you serving them? Carefully adjusting each step to avoid a slip? If you find that you're doing the work, it may be time to let your home do more of it for you. By adding these small supports, you give yourself the quiet gift of trust in every step you take. That trust becomes freedom, and that freedom lets you focus not on the floor beneath you, but on the life that unfolds around you. Ask yourself gently, are your floors serving you, or are you serving them? Carefully adjusting each step to avoid a slip? If you find that you're doing the work, it may be time to let your home do more of it for you. By adding these small supports, you give yourself the quiet gift of trust in every step you take. That trust becomes freedom, and that freedom lets you focus not on the floor beneath you, but on the life that unfolds around you. A single moment of imbalance there can change months of your life. Yet with one bar placed near the shower or by the toilet, the risk softens. It is not an admission of weakness, it is an act of foresight. I once met Clara, who is 82 and had always prided herself on living without any special equipment in her home. She told me she feared that installing grab bars would make her feel old, that every time she looked at them, she would see a loss of independence. But after a fall in her bathroom left her with a bruised hip, she decided to try. A friend installed 2 simple bars, one by her tub and one near her bed. Weeks later, she said, "I thought I would feel embarrassed, but instead, I feel free. I don't tiptoe anymore. I just move." Her story reminds us that independence is not about denying support. It is about creating the conditions that let you live fully without constant caution. You might gently ask yourself, where in your home do you feel yourself holding back, bracing, or moving slower than you'd like? Those places are speaking to you. They are not accusing you. They are inviting you to make life easier. Even one small bar, discreetly placed, can change the way you feel each morning and night. The truth is, safety is not a cage. It is a door that opens to more choices, more peace of mind, more confidence in your own body. When your home supports you, you can stop calculating every move and return to simply living. And that, perhaps, is the greatest kind of independence of all. If you found even one thought here worth holding on to, I invite you to subscribe so you can keep receiving gentle reminders that support your journey. And I would love to know, what's one small change in your home you've been considering but haven't yet made?
Share it in the comments. Your reflection might inspire someone else who is quietly walking the same path.